All right, we're gonna do this on video. I'm not gonna be able to be here today. So let's take a look at two-step equations. So a regular two-step equation like this, we're gonna start by adding 7 to both sides. That eliminates the -7 we've added because that's the inverse of the subtraction, which leaves us with 4x equals 28. Now that we have 4 times x equals 28, we're going to divide by 4 to give us x equals 7. So two-step equation, we start with the constant, we use the opposite or inverse operation, and then we deal with the coefficient, deal with the number in front of the variable. So the purpose of today is to deal with multi-step equations. So these are equations that look more complex, more complicated than the ones that we just looked at, those two-step equations, but we're going to end up with a two-step equation. So combining like terms, remember we're looking for all of the x's or all the variables that we're going to push together. In this case, we've got 5x minus 3x, so that's 2 x's. I'm going to keep the 4 equals. Then we've got plus 8 minus 10 for constants. That together is -2. I'm always going to add terms together. I like to add more than I like to subtract. Now, we've got this two-step equation, 2x plus -2. Two things happening to x. I'm going to undo the -2 with a +2. 4 plus 2 is 6, and 2x just stays the same. Last step, divide both sides by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 2x divided by 2 is just x, and there's x by itself, x equals 3. The next combine like terms. I'm looking for like terms. I've got my x's, minus 2x, minus 4x. I'm going to treat those as negatives. -2, -4 together is -6x. I'm going to go ahead and write down the equals 8. That's not going to change. Then I've got plus 10, plus 6. Together, those are plus 16. Now, I've got a two-step equation. Yes. I'm going to take care of that plus 16 with a subtraction. The only thing left on the left side is -6x. And 8 minus 16 is -8. Now I get to divide both sides by that -6. We end up with x equals, and here, if you want to pull out a calculator, or so that's 1.33, or if you like fractions, it's 4/3. Either way. Again, these two problems, we start by combining those like terms, the x's, the constants, and then we end up with that two-step equation that's very familiar to us. Other thing that we're going to talk about today is that distributive property. We talked about this when it came to expressions. Now we're going to apply it with equations. So I'm going to start by distributing, or sharing, that 5 with the 4x and with the -2. When we distribute, we're always talking about multiplication. The 10 is not going to change. The 5 times 4x is just 5 times 4 with an x. And 5 times -2 is -10. I'm always going to put a plus sign in between the two terms. Now we have two-step equation. I'm going to clean up this two-step equation by adding 10, taking care of the constant first. 10 plus 10 is 20, and the only thing left on the right side is 20x. To get x by itself, I need to divide both sides by 20. And I'm going to end up with 20 divided by 20 is 1, and 20 divided by 20 is 1x. Remember, when there's just an x by itself, it means there's 1x. So here again, we start by distributing, sets up a two-step equation, solve that two-step equation. Two more problems together. This one, straight ahead distribute again. We're going to distribute or share that -2 with the 3x and also with the -8. Don't forget, we're not just sharing it with an 8, it's a -8. -2 times 3x is -6x. -2 times -8 is positive 16, negative times a negative, and the 10 stays the same. And I have, yes, a two-step equation. I'm going to start by subtracting 16 to clear out the constant. Leaves me with -6x equals 10 minus 16, -6. We need a calculator for that. We've got it. Now, I'm going to divide by -6, the coefficient of x, and it leaves me with x equals negative and negative divide to positive, +1. Again, we start with that distributing, gives me a two-step equation, and then I solve using those two steps. And both distributive property and combining like terms. We're going to start by distributing, that's the multiplication step, order of operations. We're going to multiply first, and then we'll deal with the combining like terms, the adding. We're distributing a 2. Some people want to add the 5 and the 2 together. Don't do that. We need to multiply before we add. And we're multiplying by that -7. The 5 is not going to change. The equals -10 is not going to change. 2 times 4x is 8x. I'm adding those two terms together. Don't forget, we always need to assign something between those two terms. 2 times -7 is -14. I'm going to put a plus sign in between those two terms. Now I'm looking for like terms. I don't have a two-step equation yet. I don't get to yes yet. But I do have a 5 and -14 that I can combine. The 8x is not going to change. The 5 and -14 come together to make -9. Again, I put that plus sign there between the two terms, equals -10. Now I have a two-step equation. Yes! I'm going to go ahead, add 9 on both sides of the equal sign. The 8x is the only thing left on the left. And -10 plus 9 is -1. Dividing by 8 on both sides of the equal sign leaves me with x equals, and here, if we want to pull out a calculator and get that decimal, we can. For me, I'm just going to leave it as -1/8 and call that a day. Now, once you've finished these notes, you feel confident about it, you're going to go ahead and around the room, there are 6 problems posted on pink papers. You can start with any of the 6. The QR code should take you to the correct answer. You need to show your work. The work goes right on the back of your notes. And you'll turn in that paper when you are finished. Once you finish these 6 problems, and they are correct, remember, check those answers. Once you finish those, you're going to open up Canvas, click on Unit 4 Equations, and you see that there are 2 options here. The pixel art puzzle, my recommendation, it's a Google form. It's going to give you the question on the left-hand side, a blank one in the middle, and then on the right-hand side, it's a big picture. As you type in the correct answers, no need to put x equals, you just put the number that x does equal. Once you type that answer in, the right side will start to color in. If you finish all of them, it will give you a nice picture. If that's not your cup of tea, or if you feel like you need a little bit more support, Delta Math Practice is there. That has videos attached. If you don't like my video, maybe one of those videos will be a little bit more helpful. You can pick from the 1-step, 2-step, or the distributive property practice. Thank you.